What's up, my Century Units? It's the Central Man here. So, wow, this week's episode of SmackDown. This is not a review of SmackDown. I'm going to talk about this topic of this week's SmackDown. Two stories of this episode of SmackDown. So, the first story is E Langston broke his neck. It was on this week's episode of SmackDown. It was in a tag team match. E Langston and Kofi Kingston taking on Sheamus and Ridge Holland. Ridge Holland botched a belly-to-belly suplex, and E Langston landed on his head. Wow! And see the picture on your screens right now. E Langston, I call him E Langston, like Big E, and I refuse to call him Big E, that's just stupid. Shorten his, ring surname, Langston. Anyway, so seeing E Langston wearing a neck brace on his neck, wow, man. Broke his neck. Ridge Holland, not a big fan of, no disrespect of Luke Menzies. I think that's his real name. Ridge Holland's real name, Luke Menzies. But wow, it's not his fault. It's WWE. Really, they should never called him up to the main roster. He's just so green. I don't get the hype about him. I don't think he's that great. First off, the name, Ridge Holland. Why could you just call him Luke Menzies? I don't get it. I simply don't get it. Ridge Holland. Come on. I don't get the hype about him. I don't think he's championship material. He's just there for the paycheck and then he'll be fucked off. It's just like, what the hell? It's just like, I'm not gonna talk shit about Luke Menzies. It's not his fault. I think he came back from an injury. I think he injured his knee in a match against Oni Lorcan. This was in 2020. He came back months later. He was teaming up with Pete Dunne, and then all of a sudden, got up to the main roster, and now, he's just, I think he injured it. I think he broke his nose in a tag team match on the kickoff show of day one, and then this was in January, and then 2 months later he's injuring a wrestler. It's not, you can tell it's accidental. He didn't really do it on purpose. I guarantee people are gonna taking the shit about this guy. It's an accident. For Biggie Langston, people just don't like the New Day. For Biggie Langston, I think he's a good worker. Hope he has a speedy recovery. I don't know how long this neck injury is gonna last. He's gonna be. I think it's gonna be. Won't see Biggie Langston of this year of 2022. I think he might come back, maybe at the end of the year. But my theory, I feel that he might come back in 2023. So that's the end. Yeah, probably the last time we'll see Biggie Langston for this year, or maybe he might come back later on in the year, but I think he's likely could return the following year. It's just a shame. I wish Biggie Langston a speedy recovery. Hope he's not completely paralyzed, but hope he injured a muscle in the neck. It's like the only wrestler who injured the neck, who ended the career with a neck injury is Darren Drozoff. He was in the match with D'Lo Brown. This was in 1999. I think it was a power driver. And then Darren Drozoff took that power driver, and it was botched, and then he broke his neck, and I think he was in his 30s, 20s and 30s at the time. What might have been, because neck injuries in other sports could end a man's career. Sometimes it can really kill people. But all the spinal cord and the brainstem. But wow, it's and also Tyson Kidd, he took that botch muscle buster by Samoa Joe. I don't want to get into that. It's another topic for another time. But it's just it's neck injuries is not, it's not usual in pro wrestling to a wrestler end a career in a neck injury. the two wrestlers, and Austin number 3, Owen Hart, the list goes on and on and on. Like, wrestlers ended their careers due to neck injuries, Darren Drozoff, Steve Austin, and Tyson Kidd. So, hope Big E Langston's career continues. Hope like I said, wish him a speedy recovery. Hope he comes back. And, get well soon, Big E. So, moving on to the next story. So, moving on to the second half of this video. Pete Dunne is now butch. Wow. I'm not going to be angry at this moment point. I'm just going to laugh every time WWE do some stupid shit. I'm just going to point and laugh. It's laughable at this moment of time. Pete Dunne is butch. Pete Dunne, the second longest reigning UK champion in WWE history, has been repackaged. Months ago, you had Walter was repackaged as Gunther Stark, and he's the longest reigning WWE UK champion. Wow. That was in NXT 2.0. Jeez, I don't want to get into that NXT 2.0 thing. That's another topic for another time. But Pete Dunne is now butch. Butch? What the fuck is that? Yeah, he's teaming up with Reg Holland for the first time in months. But, Jesus fucking Christ, man. I don't understand why Pete Dunne agreed to do this. It's a stupid repackage. Pete Dunne doesn't need to be repackaged. Let him be Pete Dunne. I don't get it. He was Pete Dunne in the Indies. His real name is Pete England. Yeah, his real name is actually Peter, but his surname is England, not Dunne. But, yeah. He entered WWE as Pete Dunne, in the UK Championship Tournament. And I don't know, I think he competed in the UK division of NXT and the normal version of NXT. Had 1 or 2 gigs in the main roster as Pete Dunne, and now he's got called up to the main roster. He's been in the company for 5 years, and now he's fucking butch. It's stupid. I'm laughing my ass off at this crap, man. This is, like, would AEW put up with shit with that? AEW fans put up with shit like this? The answer is no. They will never put up this shit like this. Whether it's like an angle or some wrestler getting repackaged, they'll completely shit on it. It's just like, I don't know what Pete Dunne did. It's not like they buried the fuck out of Pete Dunne. I feel like the burying, all the credibility of Pete Dunne has is gone now. It's gone. It's finito. I don't mind like hanging around with Sheamus, but let them be Pete Dunne. Why butch? I don't get it. Vince is so fucking stupid at this moment in time. He's senile. The dude's in his mid-70s. The dude has too much fucking power. He's like Vladimir Putin. Both guys have got too much power. It's just like the same Vince McMahon kicked his own son out of the company. Kicked William Regal also out of the company. 20 years loyal servant in the company. He's now in AEW. I don't know if Shane will go to AEW. I don't know. Time will tell. But wow. How the fuck? How WWE's fallen for the past, for the past 15 years? Not 20 years, I say 15 years, when the company went PG. But, for the past decade, it went fucking downhill. It's just like, wow. They kind of ruined this good wrestler, potential wrestler. Pete Dunne, the difference between Pete Dunne and Rich Holland, Luke Menace. Pete Dunne is championship material. Rich Holland is not. So, wow, that's my 2 cents on it. So, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Smash like button. Be part of the Central Unit. Subscribe to the channel for more wrestling videos and more. And this is Essential Man officially signing out. Check you later, folks.